to the Indie Wrestling Guy with your hosts, the Hall of Fame referee, JGold, the not-so-mysterious benefactor, JGold, and the legendary Charly Butters.
Thumbtacks and skewers, really? Thumbtack? I fucking hate working with Thumbtacks, dude. I can get hurt with the fucking Thumbtack, and I'm not wrestling. I don't want to fucking do it.
Yeah. No, I don't know. The stuff that we've been doing, that's not really our brand, our IW Guide brand. You know what I mean? I don't know. Tax and my daughter hates skewers. I don't know. What if we just nixed it? What if we didn't have it at all? Well, what else could we do?
That's the thing. I mean, do we have anything else we can do? Like, what talent's available that we have? Can we make a tag match?
But make it good. What kind of tag match?
Zay and Malcolm was the big draw. We got Sammy and Shelby. They're gonna face off for the #1 contendership to the IW Guide title.
So you have your roster there. So give me something else then. If we're not going to do that, if we're not going to do the tax, give me something else that's going to match like the fun and stuff that you've been putting out there. And where is the IW Guide title? Why isn't it being defended instead of that stuff?
Well, it'll be defended the next night, actually, at Negative Outlook. I mean, I guess we could do Zay and Sammy against Malcolm and Shelby. Winner.
And tell you what, make it a tornado match. Gets no rule show. Go we on for tag anyway. And whoever gets the pin gets the title shot at a future show.
Okay.
Make it a #1 contender.
Yeah.
That way you've still got your #1 contender match you've been pushing. And then
All right.
See, that's what happens when you have a Hall of Fame ref with you. You get some good ideas.
We are a committee. I usually just I'm like the commissioner. You guys usually just, go along with me, but that's fine. I mean, that's what we'll do. I like that. All right. Okay. I guess that's what we'll do then. So Zay and Sammy and Malcolm and Shelby tornado tag. Whoever gets the pinfall gets a title shot in August. How about that?
There you go. Put some stakes on it, baby.
Perfect.
Slap some stakes on it. I like it. There you go.
Shelby can use, I don't know, a lasso maybe. I don't know what he's going to come up with.
What
was that movie where the cowboy lassos a tornado?
Oh, oh no. My brain is scrambled. I was watching Jeopardy just before. Now I can't remember but yes, I know what you're talking about.
That would be Shelby, 100%.
Yeah.
He lasso a tornado.
We had some pretty bad storms right before we recorded. I think he might have been out there doing it anyway.
Wasn't that the Matt Hardy line in his song? I can lasso a tornado.
I don't think
Wasn't that what it was?
I don't think so.
I thought I heard tornado in the song.
No, sure. I think he said he could slap a tornado, but I don't think he'd lasso a tornado. Maybe that we should remix it for Shelby.
I like it. Oh, he would be. Oh my God, that would be amazing. Yes, I'm all for it.
Oh man. So what? How did your playoffs go?
Well, for everyone who has a vested interest, the Port Washington Youth Activities girls 4th and 5th grade flag football team, the Bills, we lost 26-0. We are out of the playoffs.
The #1 seed came back to whoop your butt.
Yeah, and she had a couple of flag pulls right here. So, and she had a couple of tosses, but we did not win. Our best player decided she did not want to play, so she didn't show up. And that was that. Right. Yeah. So, but you know what? She doesn't seem to mind. We're okay. We'll play again next season.
Yep.
Right.
She's got all this whole off season to get her hyped up on the steroids.
Hey. That's my plan. Start getting her on the creatine and the chicken and rice diet.
Hey, on the bright side, you're done 2 weeks early because that's two more weeks of watching independent wrestling on Sunday rather than skipping show for flag football and having wrestlers threaten you because you didn't make a show.
Well,
now you got Sam upset at you. So
you know what? It's next season I'm going to come back, but I think this year, next week it was supposed to be 2 games. So if we won, Father's Day was going to be the semifinals at 5:30 and then the Super Bowl at 7. So I just don't think either way, selfishly, like on that day, it would have been something I wanted to do anyway. But, at least they ate all the munchkins I brought to the field. I brought 50 munchkins. Those girls housed that.
Nice.
Yeah. Every time they came over to the sidelines, I was like, who's subbing out? And they'd go sub and eat munchkins. I'm like, stop eating munchkins. You're going to get sick. We're trying to win the game.
You had a bunch of 9, 10, 11-year-old girls around sugar. What'd you expect?
I thought, well, the week before I brought him in, we won. I thought it would fire him up.
Right.
Yeah, but it didn't seem to fire them up. So
when you're out your best player, it'd be like Aaron Judge, he didn't want to play in the fucking championship here for the Yankees. So
she went to a dance recital and decided that she was not going to come back to the game afterwards. So she was like, basically the other girl who was pretty good on our team, she showed up, and I'm like, hey, where's such and such, and she's like, oh, she doesn't want to come. I'm like, it's the playoffs. What do you mean she doesn't want to come? Nope, didn't want to come, didn't show up. So that's what we get, and we finished the season with a 1-5-2 record and a plus minus of -33. So
I would
we did have the second most points scored in the whole league. Out of 8, we had the second most points.
I would tell her next year if she wants to play, to be like, nope.
Well, she's not going to be on my team. It's one of those, how we do like those random generators.
She's moving on anyway. So
yeah, they put all the kids in a generator and a randomizer. So depending on so we have combines like in April, and so you watch them and everybody gets a score, and the highest scoring girls go into one generator, and as it goes, and then they make sure every team has like 2 or 3 of the high scoring, like high rated girls, and then then they fill out the roster accordingly. So, but I always get Harper because if you coach, you have to have your daughter on your team, which is fair.
That would be kind of awkward if you were coaching Harper would go on the other team twice a year.
Listen to me. My brother and I were never on the same team in anything except for lacrosse, and my dad would either coach against one of us. So it didn't matter to us at that time. I didn't care either way. It would give me more motivation to beat him. But these kids nowadays, no motivation.
Speaking of your brother, some photos surfaced from your birthday celebration last week, and you look so much more like each other when you were younger.
Yes.
You look nothing alike now. And I thought, I was thinking about this that night, like before I even saw those photos, like on Monday night, I was thinking about it, how you guys are twins. And then like 2 days later, I see these photos and I'm like, holy shit, they do look a lot alike when they were young. And then I'm like, at some point, like he must have got body swapped out or something like that. So like your other real twins out there somewhere, like Sam's not your real twin at this point.
So, somewhere around 12, 13 years old, we stopped looking alike, and I started to grow taller and he did not. So that's kind of how that ended up playing out. But yeah, I appreciate that because everybody else just uses those pictures to make fun of us. So anyway, that's that. We lost, and now I'm going back to playing golf on Father's Day, I think. So that's all.
It's unfortunate. I was really enjoying the weekly updates. Like I'd get mad if you spoiled anything in the Discord beforehand, because I wanted to have a genuine reaction to your updates on the podcast.
I apologize for that. Yeah, I'm glad everybody enjoyed it, and I think next year I'll be coaching the basketball team as well in the fall. So you'll have plenty more updates to go as we navigate the Port Youth Activities League.
Everybody will be glad to know he predicted the result correctly, but he did not know you had a game to lose in the Discord.
Yeah, I wasn't giving Will that one today. Will, you're going to have to wait till this drops on Thursday.
Did you get a chance to catch the AIW show?
I did not yet. I'm actually going to watch it tonight, probably after we get done doing our whole
Broner was a wild man after his match. I was legit speechless at what was happening. I couldn't believe. I don't know if it was a work or not. Couldn't tell, but it was pretty wild.
Who was he beating up?
He was going after a fan.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy.
Like Pedro was trying to talk him out of it. And he's like, I just want to talk. And he got out there and it was a big pull apart. And then he literally picked up the referee and moved him to the side and rushed the guy. And a couple times, I don't know what was said. I don't know. It was pretty wild. It was pretty wild.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, you were closer to that than I was, so don't ask me to fill in the blank. I don't know either.
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
Well, we can reach out to a fan of the show, Isaiah Broner, and see what happened.
I don't want any part of the problem. I don't want to be part of the problem. I don't know.
If there were clerk or something like that, deal with it.
That's what I first thought, but I don't think it was. I think if there was, that guy would have been gone real quick.
True. Yeah,
they didn't kick him out of the building. So I don't know. I don't know if it was just them just saying some stuff back and forth, but I don't think that guy went that far. There was some slurs said during the show, and I wasn't the only one to hear them. Actually, I later confirmed with Rick because I was sitting literally. There was Mikey's table, and then there was Rick. My boss was set up with his with a toy table at the show, and I sat right in the middle of both of them on the right in between on the side, by this pole. With my little bench, and I sat, and so I got to hang out with everybody I wanted to hang out with, and he heard it too. I was during the 4-way with it was during Derek's 4-way. I was sitting there and I heard it, and my head snapped right over.
Who was it addressed to? Who are they?
I don't know. The guy. All I heard was a very specific word that will snap your neck towards something, if especially during Pride Month, if it's said out loud.
Oh, people are idiots.
So then I went and got some staff, and they said, keep an eye on it. If he says it again, come get us, then we'll watch him do whatever, kind of keep an eye on it. But
wow, I
didn't hear anything the rest of the show. I did leave not long after that. So
wow,
I was after 9 o'clock. I was tired. It was hot. I was I just want to go. It's 20 minutes home. Just want to get home and lay in bed. So that's what I did. But overall, I had a really fun time. Sam Holloway, Mikey was fucking killer. Really enjoyed that match. Really enjoyed the first half of the show. A lot of good stuff in it. So
that's good. I can't wait to watch it. I just didn't have the time this weekend to get it on Saturday night. So I'll definitely do that. We were watching Sinners again. I went to a friend's house and we all watched Sinners at 11 o'clock at night. It's great. By the way,
it was real good.
Yeah, speaking of streaming and watching, we put up that Stan from Burlington episode, and it's almost at 40 views in 30 hours or something. Holy shit.
I had to go in and cut some audio from it. It was copyrighted, so they wanted me to go in and cut some stuff. So I did cut a little bit of audio. Nothing, I don't think anything that you couldn't hear or anything. So, but yeah, that's the whole Stan Burlington thing. I forgot that was everything from the very beginning all the way through. And it opens with you and him actually having a conversation, one of the last conversations he ever did.
Yeah.
And then that was it for Stan. I think there might be one or two other random ones out there, but then he stopped calling. So
crazy. Almost 40 views.
I didn't realize it was 2 hours long. I was holy crap.
You killed it. 2 hours and 6 minutes. You killed it. That was an amazing editing job too.
That was done 3-4 years ago too. 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah. So it was
awesome.
It was a lot. It was a lot, but it worked. It came out good. Did. So yeah, that's out there. Check out our YouTube. We're going to have some new stuff coming to the Patreon soon. I'm going to start uploading all our old episodes, all our old interviews, so that you can actually go back and listen to those, because those all got pulled down over some copyright shit. I had one copyright strike, and I was like, you know what? I better just pull everything down because I don't want more to get us kicked off anything. So I pulled everything down, and it's all going to go back up unedited on the Patreon. So, because it can live there. So
that's cool as hell.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be working on bringing Old School JGold back. With the Color coming up, I should be able to line some stuff up for release to fall if I don't get anything out before then.
There's some people that I know that are going to that I was kind of shocked that I knew that I know them and they were going, and you go. Can't remember who it was. Anyway, so yeah, that'd be really cool for you to sit down and get some interviews and stuff like that, and have some cool content. What else do we got? Shout outs? Zach, Andrew, and Patty.
Hey, Patty.
This week she's Pizza Patty because she gave me her pizza that she had at the show because she said it wasn't good. I thought it was okay. It was a little spicy. She's what she was worried about, but I thought it was good. We got our picture. As soon as we got there, we did the picture. She bought some of the new trading cards.
Yeah, she sent me to get her a burger, and she didn't eat her peak right before the pre-show started. I just got back at the bell was ringing for that. But
yeah,
Patty wants food. Patty gets food. I wasn't going to argue with her.
That's awesome. Hi, Patty. I'm sorry I wasn't there.
Yeah,
again,
you weren't paying attention. I was worried about you for a second. I was like, is he going to say hi, Patty?
I'm sorry. I was looking for the upcoming streams for what's on. I apologize, Patty. That is my bad.
Also, I don't know did you guys see that new clip from Twisted Metal?
Yes, it looks fucking awesome.
I'm so fucking excited for season 2 of Twisted Metal. Comes out July 31st.
I liked it way more than I thought I was going to when I originally saw it. It was awesome. It was awesome.
I just rewatched it. Like I rewatched it in a day. It's like 6 episodes.
Yeah,
and it was great.
It's
and
great.
I'm like, so then I saw this. I saw this randomly, and I'm like, oh my god, they got Mr. Grimm. Like fucking. It looks so good.
By the way, and it'll be impossible to change the way you look at him, but somebody on Twitter said Anthony Mackie looks like whenever you look at Anthony Mackie in his headshots, he looks like he has a mouthful of Skittles and knows something. That's what they wrote. And now when I look at him like that, it's so funny. He looks like he knows the secret with a mouthful of Skittles.
I don't know what that means.
Well, look at his face. He always is like this in his headshots. I'm telling you. It's good stuff. Anyway, I got a laugh out of it. I'll send you the Twitter so at least you can see it.
I got a laugh out of that. I got a laugh out of trying to watch Tony Atlick be a special guest referee Saturday afternoon. That was fun.
Tell us all
about that.
Yeah, go the Nile Retro Toy Market was Saturday. Mega Championship Wrestling does a live wrestling show as part of that. I went there before I went to AIW. And they had Tony Atlick as the special guest referee for the women's match. And the poor dude can barely get into the ring as it is. And he wasn't even going down for the count. Like, he was just, kneeling down as far as he could and slapping the mat that way when he was counting. So, there's no way he had a good look at the shoulder. And then after the match, one of the women choked him with her boot, and he turned to the crowd and went, "I like that."
He's too weird for me. He's starting to get very weird.
And he's been weird for a long time. So.
I mean, he's leaned into it, but it's so weird at this point. He's just like, I'm a pervert, and everybody laughs at it. So it is what it is, but it's weird.
But fun show, main event, Jimmy James and RJ Jones, a legitimate brother having an I Quit match. And Jimmy James speared his mom and threatened to pedigree her so he get Jones to quit. Fun stuff. And a couple of people, tell you how effective this was. It's another one of those deals where it's kind of a wrestling crowd, but kind of not. And you can tell the ones who aren't normally wrestling fans that somebody was actually asking for 911 to be called, but they thought she was legit hurt.
That's the best time, when people really buy in.
Yes. It came off really well, but the people who aren't in the know were buying into it. So
fucking idiots. Well, shit. What's on this week? I'm trying to find something good.
There might not be anything. I
got something for us.
What's on this weekend?
On the Triller side, it'll be Friday, June 13th, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. Defy Wrestling presents Vortex from Washington Hall in Seattle, Washington. On that card, Kendrick Alexander against Starboy Charlie, Joey Janela against Artemis Spencer, the Defy Women's World Champion Marina Shafir defending against Viperous, and the Bollywood Boys against the American Guns, plus much, much more.
Interesting. All right, I'm going to go back to Butters' buddy, Matt Griffin, and Action Wrestling presents Friday night, June 13th at 7:30 p.m. Spin. That is live from the Roger Spencer Community Center in Tyrone, Georgia. Joe Black versus Anakin Murphy, Adrian Alanis versus Bobby Flacco, Alex Kane versus Casey Owens, Rick Royal versus Darian Bankston. The IWTV Independent Wrestling Tag Team Championship, 4825. That's Jaden Newman and Jameson Shook versus Ella Envy and BK Westbrook for the Tag Team Championship. Go figure. And then the Action World Championships on the line, Tim Bosby versus Adam Priest. And that is all on the Independent Wrestling Television Network on Friday.
Let's get into our interview.
Interviewing.
All right, joining us this week, the Canadian Dragon, Shimbashi.
What's up, guys? Happy to be here.
Thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
So I guess to get started, I was talking to Dom about you a while ago, and we were talking about you on the show, and we were very confused as to your hometown to where you trained. So can you tell us what's with the Canadian hometown, and where did you train and stuff? So can you give us a little bit of your journey there?
Yeah, so I am Canadian, not just a gimmick. I was born in Edmonton. I'm actually rocking Oilers right now, future Stanley Cup winners. So I was born in Edmonton, and just because of my dad's job as a kid, I moved around I'd say like every like 1 to 2 years. So I've spent some time in like the Middle East, the Netherlands, and then just like some states in like Iowa, Oklahoma, and then ended up going to college at Texas A&M, and then that's when I started wrestling training. There was a school, Lions Pride Sports, that was about 5 minutes from the university. So at the time, I think it was during COVID, I asked my parents if I could do it because I needed, basically it was $2,000 to sign up and get the full training thing. And I asked my parents, and they told me that my job was to go to school and that it was not in the cards at the moment. So then I kept like pleading and begging. And then they told me that if I came up with the money, then they couldn't essentially stop me. And so for the next like 4 months, I worked two jobs, open to close, like morning shift and night shift, until I had probably like $2,000 and maybe $30 in my bank account. And then the second I got back to school, I just took it all out and I gave it to my trainer, Houston Carson. And then that's how we started training to be a wrestler. 6 months from then, I started going on shows. And then a month from then, I started kind of working my way to the indies. And then, so I made my name in Texas, I think primarily for a long time. And then my fiance now is going to university up here. And so I ended up moving up here and getting in contact with Dom and AIW, who have just been real great to me. But yeah, that's why I'm up here. But Canadian born, wrestled mostly in Texas. Now I'm in the Midwest.
Okay. So when I first saw you, it was at Unsanctioned, and I think it was in a scramble. And there was this idiot in front of me that was like, he kept calling you Takeshita. Yeah. And you're like, I'm Canadian. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So you at least were able to like point out how dumb they were without like having to make a big stink about it. But yeah, like, so wrestling fans. But yeah, so that was like my first like impression of you. And I was like, oh, that's actually, you know, like that's pretty smart to like point out like this guy's an idiot. But like you had a really good match, and then you started popping up on like some like pre-show AIW stuff, and I was like, he must be training with them. Like I saw that you were like down in Texas again with Dom and Q, and I was like, you must be like really like going out and training and doing stuff. So that was like part of the discussion. So it's good to be able to kind of figure things out. Jhawk, do you want to lead off with some questions?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. You mentioned the Lion Pride School. I'm going to admit I'm not familiar with that. Can you describe to me how your training was like while you were there?
Yeah, it's definitely a smaller school. Houston Carson was more of a Texas independent wrestler. His career was cut short due to a heart condition, but he came up with the same people that love like Lance Archer, Ricky Starks, Keith Lee, Sammy Guevara. He's from that class of indie workers. So he's very much old school. I think that's kind of his training style. So he teaches you the fundamentals. I do think for the most part, especially when I was there, I think Lions Pride in Texas is the best school for learning like strict fundamentals. And then finding your own style and being creative from there. I think you kind of have to go out to other schools and see that out. But I mean, I was very lucky in Texas and privileged too. I was trying to break into this wrestling business while I was just going to school. So I didn't have a job or anything besides go to school and train. So I got to train with some great people all around Texas. I think New Texas Pro is phenomenal. MPX is phenomenal. Bro, I trained with them for a little bit. They can all kind of get like different styles and different critiques. And I think that's kind of why I kind of popped off as soon as I did. In Texas, was just because I was constantly grinding with that. But in terms of Lions Pride, yeah, it's real old school style training, like really focusing on cardio, character, making sure that like everything's done safely and looks crisp. I think that's kind of the main training there.
Okay, and you've mentioned going to other schools, and if anybody clicked me here, I definitely recommend going to different schools, even if you just pick it and get an idea. If you do learn differently from different people, I think it's cool that you took the time to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So obviously worked a lot in tech getting to start. Where did you first start branching out a little bit? Like, how did that come about for you?
Yeah. Houston Carson actually got me my first like outside indie booking, and it was for Advanced Pro Wrestling. It was at a like festival burger show. and I was supposed to be in a tag team match, and me and my friend at the time, Zane, we go to this place. It's our first match outside of Lions Pride, and our opponent is not there. We have one guy there, and he's like, "Hey, my tag partner's not here." His name was Viper, and he was like, "He'll be here later." So hours go by, Viper still doesn't show up, and we're starting to get nervous. It's our first outside match, and then it comes to the point where like we're next, and Viper still isn't here. Um, and so basically, what happens is his name was Livewire. Is he comes up to us and he goes, "Looks like it's a handicap," and his music hits, and he just goes out. And so my first like outside match, I was like, oh, this must be what independent wrestling is. And so we ended up having an on the fly handicap match, two 19-year-olds versus a guy who I think was pushing 60 at the time. And that was my very first outside booking. And then from there, I stayed working for them a little bit. And then I worked for this place called Texas All-Star Wrestling, which I think is also fantastic, especially if you're starting out getting your reps in. And then I think I got a big break when New Texas Pro started doing these Texas Contender Series, which if anyone has IWTV, you should 100% be watching Texas Contenders right now. It's phenomenal. But I mean, when I was at the very first one, and I just to see how far they've come from there is great. But it's it was on a Thursday, and it was really just like, hey, if you want to get out here and you want to get better, let's get this show running. So it's still a bunch of hungry talent, and I can't recommend New Texas Pro Contender Series enough. I think that's fantastic. So that was how I got a lot of reps in, and then kind of just slowly branching out from there. And then I eventually got on, which I think might be, at the time, I think it was probably, for me, the biggest Texas indie was Inspire. And then from there, kind of now just do Inspire and do Texas Pro.
Yeah, Kiefer Bartek is a friend of the show.
He's the man.
And he's always been really cool with us. So
yeah, no, he's fantastic. I think if you want like to know what Texas wrestling is about, 100%. New Texas Pro is the top of Texas wrestling. Every show, every card of that top to bottom is just an absolute classic. So yeah, and I really do. I think Texas might be the most slept on state in terms of wrestling ability. I think there's so many guys there who are just absolute killers. Like, I mean, Danny Orion's getting out a little bit more, which I think is so well deserved. But yeah, there's so many of them you got to check out.
Yeah, I do try to keep up with New Techno Pro. They do some great work there, absolutely. I do want to talk about one thing real quick. You did get extra work for AEW. You actually worked the six-man tag against Von Erich and Dustin Rhodes on Rampage when Rampage was a thing. And I don't want you to say anything that might potentially prevent you from getting booked there again. But if you can discuss that experience a little bit.
I mean, dude, I got to take an Iron Claw from a Von Erich. Like, as a wrestling fan, that's not something I ever thought was going to happen. Let alone thinking I'd be watching Goldust on TV when I was like 14 and then getting to get in the ring with Dustin Rhodes. Like it's just unreal. I think AEW's extra work is fantastic, and I'm really thankful for that opportunity. I was a little upset they got rid of Dark, which I do think they should bring back. But no, I have absolutely no complaints. I mean, again, taking an Iron Claw from a Von Erich, not much I can complain about there.
Yeah, Dustin's really cool too. No, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm
I was gonna say, did you get to see in MLW when Dom and Koo and Tom Lawler started a riot in Dallas?
Yeah, no,
with the Von Erichs. Oh, so good.
Yeah, no, dude, Dom and Koo are the man. They're sick. They,
I remember like they've been cutting a promo where the arena used to be in Dallas, and like it was very good stuff. Like I'm getting to see like footage of them starting like that riot and stuff. Like I always thought it was really cool that like they got to feud with the Von Erichs and stuff. So
yeah,
and getting to train with Dom and stuff is he most people know, like him and I will talk, and he like teaches me things all the time. Like I'm still like learning as like doing stuff. So he's a teacher in and out of the ring. Like in his free time, he just teaches me things. So I'm always appreciative of that. JGold, what else you got?
I want to say Dustin Rhodes is really cool. I met Dustin in 2002 in Columbus, right after King of the Ring. We happened to pull into a gas station, and Dustin is riding with Brock Lesnar, and they pull into the same gas station. And Brock is just like, I'm gonna get my shit and I'm gonna go and I don't want to deal with shit. Like he posed for a picture with us, but he was just like, I just want to get me going. Dustin took time to talk to us and have a conversation with us, and it looks like right when he's doing all the shit with Booker T, he's like, "Do you like me now?" I'm like, "I've been a fan of yours for a while." He go, "Bullshit," but. Now I do want to get away from wrestling a little bit, but maybe it's going to be related. A lot of people that are getting involved in wrestling have an athletic background when they're younger, or maybe a theater background. Do you have anything like that kind of translates for you?
Yeah, I was pretty set on being a wrestler since I was like 10, since I discovered it. So then kind of everything that I did in my head was to get closer to that goal. So like I did theater throughout like middle school and high school, and then I did high school wrestling where I was on like varsity, and then I ended up doing jujitsu and MMA for a little bit before COVID lockdown. But all of that was just kind of to get here. I do think it's a lot easier if you have an athletic background to get into wrestling. I think it's a lot more physical than a lot of people think. So yeah, no, very thankful for that.
I think a lot of people underestimate how important footwork is too. It's like I think people with like track backgrounds and football backgrounds, that help them a lot as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Butter, go ahead and take a few, and then we'll pivot after.
Ooh, I get to ask some of my favorite questions. So you can choose to answer this or not. We like to ask this question to everybody. What is the worst ring name you've ever heard?
That's good. Give me a second. I can say the best ring name I currently know is one of my buddies is a lumberjack, and he goes by Axe Manson because he's the Axeman's son. And I think that's probably up there with my favorite. I'd really have to think of a bad name off the top of my head. I do think anyone with like the last name Shrubs is kind of a jamoke for the most part, just as like a blanket statement. So if you're going by Shrubs as your last name, I wouldn't do that personally.
Shrubs.
Yeah, I think you sound kind of like a douche, but
I have to assume that's based off a real person, and that's going to remain nameless.
yeah. They know who I'm talking about, so it's all good.
What is the weirdest place that you've wrestled?
I mean, wrestling in Texas, what's great about that is that there's so many places to wrestle. So that's a good thing. Bad thing is they're not always going to be in the best towns. So like I've wrestled in the middle of like bumfuck nowhere in front of like 3 hillbillies. I've done like birthday parties for kids who just weren't invested in it. I wrestled in a slaughterhouse that I thought that was kind of crazy.
That's a new one. All right.
Yeah, that one was wild. It was like tornado tag first blood match. Back to that shout out Advanced Pro Wrestling in the DFW area. That might be the actual weirdest place. But yeah, I think that's all I got. I don't got anything past the slaughterhouse, to be completely honest.
That's crazy. All right.
Okay, let me ask you about the Empire Control Room and Garage. What is that building like?
That's phenomenal. I think that's my favorite venue to work in Texas. I don't think there are a lot of crowds that have the energy that that people who come to Empire have, whether it be for like Heels Have Eyes, Inspire, New Texas Pro. There's a lot that come close. I think like the AIW crowd is insane just in pure numbers. I think the unsanctioned crowd feels really connected. West Coast crowd is always phenomenal, but no, Empire itself, outside of the mosquitoes, but that's just kind of a Texas thing. That is the best venue I've ever worked at. I mean, I think a lot of people saw it when Fourth Rope went down there. Like they packed that sucker in. But no, that venue is phenomenal. Everyone there's super great. I think they have a couple sponsors there as well that helps out. But no, nothing bad to say about Empire. Phenomenal.
So Waffle House, Sheetz, or Wawa?
Buc-cee's over all
Buc-cee's,
of them.
well,
If I'm being super honest. But
yeah,
I mean, when Waffle House at the start, I really think that was like, I think that's like kind of every wrestler's journey is like you're driving at 2 a.m. and you stop at a Waffle House. Quick tangent. I think everyone who answers that Muscle Man Malcolm's Waffle House order is a fucking liar. I think a lot of them are not eating nearly as much as they're saying they're eating. That's more of a personal vendetta I have on that. But for me, it would go Buc-ee's 1, Waffle House 2. And then I don't think I've stopped at a Wawa yet. I don't think so. But Sheetz is solid. Sheetz is super solid.
Go ahead.
It only can make me when I run into a wrestler who's been to business more than a couple of years. Like, I've never been to a Waffle House. Like, do you actually travel for a show? Like,
yeah, no, you gotta hit a Waffle House. You gotta hit up a Waffle House.
But you're telling me you've never been to the show that ended at fucking midnight and Waffle House the only thing open within like a fucking 100-mile radius? Give me a fucking break.
Yeah.
JGold, I've traveled maybe 10 times with wrestlers to shows, and I have been to a Waffle House at least twice on 2 of those journeys.
Yeah.
If you don't want to stop at a gas station, you've got Waffle House and maybe Denny's, and even a lot of the Denny's aren't 24 hours anymore.
Yeah, so. I'm not a fan of Denny's. I'll take a Waffle House over a Denny's or an IHOP any day. To me, they're all the same, but Waffle House is honest about what it's about, and it's priced reasonably.
So I notice when you wrestle that sometimes you'll yell Shimbashi before you do a move. Is there anything else that you do that you yell Shimbashi before you do it?
Well, that started because a lot of stupid fans didn't know how to say my name. And so that started as just a way for me to establish this is how we do it. It was to middle the Takeshita, Nakamura, or Kenta chants that I was getting. But it's more at this point, it's just something that kind of psychs me up. So whenever I'm feeling it is when it kind of happens.
Just like jump in the shower and yell Shimbashi and like
sometimes,
I mean, I was trying to like figure out when it would be like the best to do this. So like my guesses were like getting out of a car after a drive and like you're getting amped up to like you get out and you can just jump and yell. Definitely getting in or out of the shower. You got to be careful though if you're going to jump to do it because you want to slip and fall. Jumping into bed at the end of like a long day. Or like jumping out of a helicopter, I think it would make sense to do.
Yeah.
Or jumping into bed with your lady friend.
There you go.
Yeah. So, JGold, you got anything else? We'll keep going here. I'm reloading some questions.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and get away from wrestling completely for a little bit here. What are you doing to unwind when you're not wrestling? Are you watching movies, listening to music? What are you doing?
Sports betting and watching movies are probably my 2 big things that I do to unwind. And I don't lose with sports betting. So for me, it's great. And then I love movies. I absolutely love movies. Outside of that, I don't know. I'm so busy. I don't really do anything else other than like when I'm traveling. That's my favorite thing to do is when I'm on a plane is I just start running movies. So yeah, movies and sports betting are my 2 big things.
Okay, we're getting the movie in a little bit here, but I got to ask about the sports betting here. I'm assuming you've got money on the Oilers here in the Cup, and
absolutely,
they did not look good Monday night. No,
they didn't. But I also think that NHL teams who win Game 1 have a 77% chance of winning the series. I think that when teams rematch and you have someone who's as good as Connor McDavid is, who I would compare to Crosby or Gretzky, they typically win the rematch. And if we even want to look at this playoff run, the Kings blew the Oilers like completely out of the water in Game 3, and then they came back and won 3 in a row. I think personally, I have money on Oilers in 6. That's my opinion. I don't think it hits Game 7.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't surprise me. Also, at the way the Florida's been playing, though, it wouldn't surprise me if they take it in 5. Especially, they got some desperation there. 5 fights got won on Monday night at one point, and the Oilers were instigating all that. Much like I hate to say it.
I'll call it right now. Oilers win this next game. They're winning Game 4 for sure. Series is gonna be 2-2. I don't know when this goes out, but if it goes out after, we could clip that, and I'll be correct on Oilers up.
It's going to go out in about 3 hours.
Okay.
Because we're recording on Wednesday for this, so and it goes out Thursday at midnight. So as soon as we're done, it'll be edited and put out. So
hell yeah!
All right, let's go ahead and pivot to movies. Though, what sort of movie are you watching?
Man, at this point, it's anything. I think I was so into wrestling as a kid that I missed out on like so many movies that came out. But so I'm really trying to work back and just see stuff that I haven't had a chance to see. But man, I watch I'll watch literally anything. I think my letterbox is at 109 for the year of movies I've seen since January. Reckon a lot of that is when I'm on a flight. But yeah, no, I mean, I'll watch pretty much anything. I think my favorite movies that I've seen this year, I mean, Sinners was great. I think that was the best movie that's come out this year. And then outside of that, I love Uncut Gems. I'll watch that at any point. I love Moneyball. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is one of my favorite movies of all time. Yeah, so stuff like that is stuff that I'm really into.
Do you have that one movie that if you see it on TV, that no matter what point of the movie it is, you have to stop and watch it?
Yeah, it's honestly probably Moneyball or Uncut Gems. Like I've seen those movies so many times.
They're your comfort movies at this point, safe to say.
Yeah, which I know is weird.
It is.
I think it's
Uncut Gems is like a movie I watched once because it made me uncomfortable the entire time. But that's what the filmmakers known for. Yeah. Like I watched the other movie that they did, and it was the same thing. Just like it felt like it was like this ridiculous roller coaster.
Yeah, that's. I mean, the Safdies are great. That's what they're known for. But I don't. I weirdly like that. Yeah, Good Time is great as well. Another comfort movie I think is just War Dogs, but I think that's because I watched that with my brother growing up, and we had this like fantasy of being arms dealers. So just like whenever I'm like missing my family, I'll put on War Dogs. And it just makes me think of my brother.
See, that's another good thing when you're unloading a magazine into the air, yell Shimbashi.
There you go.
That's another good one.
All right, what do you got, Butter?
What is the craziest fan interaction that you've had?
Well, I guess I mean, the deepest connection I've had with a fan is the one that I eventually proposed to. So I think that's probably the biggest one. But outside of that, I feel like I think every wrestler's dealt with kind of the same types of fans. I'm fortunate enough to never have been stalked or had any fan kind of extend the boundary of a parasocial relationship. So I might not be the best person to ask about that, but I do think it's yeah, I don't really have anything too crazy off the top of my head now.
Give it time.
Yeah. I'm sure I'll get some.
Yeah, we'll come back like a year from now and you'll have like some crazy story of somebody that, ripped out a chunk of your hair and
yeah, something like that.
You're only about 4 years in. It takes 5 or 6 before you start getting into really
Gotcha.
Let's see, what else do I have? Do you have a specific pre-show ritual that you do every time before you go out?
No, but I really should. I didn't stretch for the first 3 years of my wrestling career because I thought stretching was a hoax. So I guess stretching now, but that's more because my body hurts. Stretching, energy drinks are the main thing. But again, both of those are kind of out of necessity. It's not so much something that does to hype me up, but yeah.
All right, what's your energy drink of choice?
If I can get it, Rise. I think Rise has the best energy drinks, but they're not sold everywhere. So if not that, I mean, I'll do anything. I'll run like a Ghost or a Reign or even like a Monster. I do tend to go with Ghost, Reign, or Rise. Those are my big three.
With Pedro trying to talk you into doing that Liquid Death Cherry Obituary or whatever that was at the brewery last week, you're telling everybody about that damn drink.
I was gonna say Reign is the only drink to ever make me get jittery from an energy drink. So I've only had those when we were doing the drive early in the morning from Akron to Black Label Pro and back, and I had a multiple, and that'll be the last time I ever have those.
Oh yeah,
they were delicious. They had like great flavors, but I'm not dealing with jittering and like heart palpitations. So you do watch a lot of movies. What about music? Is it like when you're working out? Do you have like a certain playlist you go to? Is there a certain band that you like to listen to?
Yeah, I've liked Turnstile, I think, since the beginning, and they're kind of popping off now. But I remember I showed. Shout out Danny Orion. He uses a Turnstile song, and it's because when we were coming up, he had asked me like what's a good theme because we were working for Jimmy Perez at the time, and he didn't have a theme at the moment, and I was like, dude, Can't Deny It by Turnstile, and he uses it to this day. So as is like a fun story. But no, Turnstile's absolutely fantastic.
Is there any particular meaning to the theme music you use, or it just happen to be a song you like and you go with it?
Yeah, I saw it in a movie and I immediately was like, I'm going to use this as my theme. And that's about as far as it goes on that. Because I think the first theme I had was such like beginner wrestler thinking this is cool type of theme song. And just looking back, it was like the corniest shit. So I'm glad I changed that as soon as I could.
Did you backyard wrestle at all?
Um, with my brother on a trampoline in front of no one, yes, but outside of that, no. But yeah, my brother's still probably not too fond of me because I'm 4 years his elder, so I just kind of be putting him in like the sharpshooter and stuff on a trampoline.
Did you have a created name for yourself, or did you just pretend to be different wrestlers?
Man, I'm sure if you went on like my old SmackDown versus Raw, that I've had some crazy names. I do remember because I didn't know what I wanted is I just do Josh and then the last name of whichever wrestler I was feeling at that point. So it'd be like Josh Hart or like Josh Batista. I think that was like that type of thing.
Okay. Okay.
Wasn't too creative of a kid.
I never did the backyard thing, but I used to do e-wrestling when I was a thing. And my character was like a knockoff on Dean Douglas. And everybody's like, why are you doing a Dean Douglas knockoff? Like, it would have fucking worked if they would have done more than just, I'm giving you a B for backfire or whatever the fuck he was doing.
Wow, Jayhawk. Wow. You never cease to amaze me with your ridiculousness.
Got to keep you on your toes, Butter.
Yeah. So let's talk about getting to work AIW. Who are some of the people that you can't wait to get in the ring with there?
Top of my list, I'd say the one that I really want to work just because I think that we'd have an absolute banger is Alec Price. I've seen the way he works. I know his style and I know my style, and I've never got to be in the ring with him, but I think that match would absolutely steal the show if we got put there together. Outside of Alec, Sam Holloway's someone I've been getting closer with. I'd love to get in there and scrap. Dom, Derek, trying to think off the top of my head. I think those are the big ones at the moment. Yeah, no, but I really think me and Alec Price could do some cool shit.
Yeah, after seeing him and Mikey and like what Mikey like was like, this is ridiculous. He's like, I have a new goal now with my my training. He's like, he is so like, he wasn't even winded at the end of the match, and he's like, Mikey was like passing out. So
yeah,
Mikey's like, I have a new goal of like where I want to get. So
okay, so your first match in AIW is a scramble, and you're in the ring with Kaplan.
Mm-hmm.
And you live to tell the story. Could tell the story about working with Kaplan. Like,
I mean, yeah, what you see is what it is. He hits hard and it sucks. And you just try to avoid getting hit by him as much as possible and hope it's somebody else.
Yeah, Shelby didn't learn that, and he got his face compressed in.
Yeah, I was lucky to hear that before we got in the ring. So
yeah, I was there for that. It was very scary when it happened. I was like, oh my God.
And poor Shelby's doing the same stuff with Broner.
I
feel like Broner was like, they were just really smart about it. I feel like he did all right with Broner. He almost had him.
Almost.
Okay, but in general, let's not even KIW. Let's expand that to all indies, though. Is there anybody out on the indies that you want to work with, aside from Alec Price?
Yeah, there's just a lot, like after moving out of Texas, there's a lot of guys who like I'm seeing in these different scenes that I just really want to like get in the ring with. I think TJ Crawford's another one that I've been seeing that I think would be really fun. In terms of West Coast, I think like Titus Alexander, Starboy Charlie, I think those guys are great. Jaya Jewel, Cody Lane, would love to wrestle him. Try to make sure I'm not missing anybody. I got to cross Darian Bangston off the list, but I'd love to run that back with him again. Just do that one more time. Let's see. I know I'm missing a bunch of people. Tim Bosby is another one who's sick. Action world champ. And then outside of that, love to work Kevin Koo. Yeah, I think those are ones that off the top of my head. I'm sure I'm forgetting people. Mikey Montgomery is another one I want to run, but I'm sure I'm missing a bunch of people.
Well, I think we can make Mikey Montgomery happen at some point.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm
potentially.
hoping so. Yeah, that's a big one. We can make that happen either like at AIW Enjoy or somewhere like that.
Can you tell me what the Lawless Darkness title is?
Dude, best title in wrestling because okay, the concept of that title when it started was that the rules don't apply to the person who wins that belt. So if you win the belt, you can't get DQ'd at all. So a lot of people would use that to like use chairs and then like low blow, eye rake in front of the ref, it doesn't matter. When I won that belt, I realized if I can't get disqualified, but if the rules don't apply, I can also make my own rules and then change rules on the fly. So that was the most fun I think I've had as champion in any promotion. Like I'd be wrestling somebody and I'd say no countouts, and then I'd throw them out. I'd call countouts. I'd make it a dog collar match where they have to be dog collared to a post. If they take it off, they're disqualified. Handcuffs, tables, like that was the most fun creatively I've ever had. That's also where I got screwed up in another dream match, Mad Dog Conley, dog collar. I want to get fucked up. That's another big one. But yeah, I that belt's sick. I think Rachel Rose currently has it, and I hope they continue to do those shenanigans that I was running with it.
Like
That's
a real
awesome.
life Calvin Ball game. I love it.
Yeah, it was so fun. I think check out Inspire AD. I think my match with Izzy James for that belt is on YouTube, so that's also a fun one to check out.
Jayhawk, you got anything else?
Yeah, one more actually here. I can hear that you did work a couple of TV taping for Reality of Wrestling, which is Booker T's promotion. What was that experience like?
It was great. I think at the time I was really nervous because it's Booker T, but he's a cool dude. Rose production and camera work is some of the best I've ever seen. And yeah, I think when I was just starting, I think I owe a lot to Ro as well as like New Texas Pro for kind of like giving me that shot, especially with how new I was at that point. So
Okay, how did you adjust to working for TV camera and compose just work at a standard indie where maybe you've got a hard cam to worry about, but not much else?
Yeah, that's honestly what's great about Houston Carson is that he trains you for working for TV over an independent show. So I kind of already understood like work for hard cam and like make sure you show like your face to the camera and everything. So that came second nature to me. It was essentially just Lions Pride Sports with like better lighting and better camera work.
But
So now that you've broken through with AIW and you actually have like a main card match, do you want to face Isaiah Broner for that belt? Like, is that do you think that'll happen?
Let's run it.
You think you can take it off of him?
Oh, for sure. I think I can beat anybody on any given day. Broner's great, I think he's great, but I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't think I could be the best or am the best. And I'm not going to be avoiding people. Like, I like getting my ass kicked. I like kicking ass. And Broner's an ex-NFL player and he did murder Shelby, but I've murdered Shelby in just different ways. So I'd love to run it with Broner. I wouldn't want to face Jocelyn though. She'd fuck me up.
Yeah, she's a bit much to handle, so yeah. I would be afraid of her for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got that little tape of her in that first Grandma match and went, fuck that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's everything I got. Jayhawk, if that's everything you got, then we can hit plugs and go home.
Yeah, I got nothing else unless there's something you want to cover.
Nope, I think we did everything we wanted to.
Sick.
So go ahead, Shimbashi, then. If you have anything you want to plug, any upcoming shows and social media, anything like that, it's your time.
Yeah, me and my fiance, MJ Santana, will be facing Alienated Youth at Unsanctioned Pro the 21st. And then I will be in a mixed match tag against GPA and Laney Luck at House of Heat. I want to say that's the 28th. And then if you just want to hang out, I'll be hanging out at Black Label Pro this weekend. And then all social media is Shimbashi Pro, YouTube Shimbashi. Follow me.
All right. Jayhawk, what do you got?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and Blue Sky at Ref Jayhawk, Instagram at Jayhawk1539. My next booking will be Real Action Pro Wrestling on the 21st in Youngstown, Ohio. The Over the Top, the main event, the 30-man Rumble-style Battle Royal with the winner to get a title shot at a time of their choosing, kind of like a Money in the Bank. So
I think this year they should do it where it's all arm wrestling contest all the way through with everybody.
Yeah, you never know who's going to appear in the. I've actually been in record in 2 of these matches in the past. But you never know who's going to show up.
Yeah, but how many bumps have you had this year? I'm
at about my 3 bump limit for the year. So we'll have
so probably not going to be you then.
You never know. Last time I would get it, I didn't know until I got to the building. Oh, by the way, you're number 21 tonight. Oh, okay.
All right. You can follow me on Twitter at Charlie_Butters. Check out our new IW Guide trading cards. Series 2 is out now. Series 3 should be coming out in late July, early August. It's going to be a rolling rollout with those ones where they're not all available at once. So they're going to come out slowly over the course of like a 3-month period. Something different I'm trying. Let's see what else. Please review and subscribe wherever you listen to us. Patreon.com/IW Guide. Don't forget about our merch store over at Brainbuster Tees. We have a bunch of new stuff up there. Check out our podcast friends, At Odds with Wrestling. The card is going to change. The NXT Night Shift. All our friends over at the Main Event Network. Check out our other friends, the official graphic designer of IW Guide, OKCR Creations, Time Capsule Toys, Ohio, Rubber City Toys, Gorilla Press Apparel, and of course, Pally's Jerky. Get yourself some Kaplan jerky when you're at the wrestling shows. That's all I got. Life short, watch more indie wrestling.
Later.
Don't forget to review and subscribe wherever you listen to us. Find us online at Facebook and Instagram at the Indie Wrestling Guide, and on X or Twitter at IW Guide 1.